Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hecht CREATIVE. Today we're going over the Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 3 Action 4-Pack featuring Light Up Sonic, Light Up Shadow, Angry Tails, and Knuckles from Jakks Pacific. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Here is the box for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Action 4-Pack with Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, and Shadow himself with the logo right over here and the figures over there. On one side of the box we have the logo as well as Sonic looking really cool and older over there next to a Try Me tab with the logo for Jakks. And on the other side is the logo as well as Shadow looking super cool over here with electricity looking amazing, as well as another Try Me tab over here in the Jakks logo as well. And on the back we have Knuckles, Sonic, Shadow, and Tails. These two light up, by the way, with the logo over here. Now let's take a look at this 4-pack with light up figures. Taking a look at Light Up Sonic, he is covered in all of these little light up quills that we'll go over a little bit later when we make the room dark. His expression is extremely similar to his first two figures in the Sonic 2 line. I really like how this looks. The nose is painted really well, the ears are painted nicely, the eyes are painted well, and the head is all done in this nice blue with those translucent pieces as I said before. And the head can swivel left and right. It can't really go up and down that much at all or pivot that much. It's only meant to swivel because the wires are probably going from the body to the head. And speaking of body, Sonic has a little cut out of his chest. What is this, secret rings or something? But anyways, the arms the same, at least over here, and the gloves too, as his previous figure. We are missing, though, the butterfly joints. He does have the same articulation otherwise, though. So at least there's that. He's a step up from articulation of, let's say, the Shadow on the bike that I reviewed a while ago. And he's pretty much the same on the back as well, even though he does have a little screw over here that is protected by the quills and his tail a little bit that looks nice. But honestly, with this hatch and this screw on the back, he looks like Mecha Sonic wearing a Sonic skin suit. I've always thought that would be a really cool idea for a sequel where Mecha Sonic tricks Amy wearing an ugly Sonic skin suit. That'd be really funny and a nice little hat tip to the first movie's legacy. The legs are the same as the previous figure, although their construction is not that great. There is a huge gap over here as well as the legs looking nice at least, but yeah, the construction of them isn't that good at all. The articulation though is pretty solid. Those gaps are really bothering me a lot though, and I'm wondering how this will hold up over time. Not really that great, I don't think, honestly. And the paint looks a little bit different on the shoes. Maybe they're using cheaper paint for these figures, but yeah, I don't know. It just isn't that great to me, honestly. This Light Up Sonic is a nice figure, but not my favorite Sonic from the movies personally. And now to show Light Up Sonic in his full glory. Wow, this is really cool. The blue is super bright on this one. It really illuminates the space that it's in. My review stand, it's super awesome looking and really cool. The way it pulses and moves is so nice. It's also going for a really long time. I like this a lot. It's great. Light Up Sonic stands at about 5 inches tall or so. Here's Light Up Sonic next to Movie 2 Sonic and Movie 3 Sonic, and the expression is from here, but most of the articulation scheme is from here. I still gotta say though, this one is my favorite. I do like the light up gimmick for this one, and this one is just way too short, but it does work with the 5-inch Robotnik. Light Up Shadow is similar to Light Up Sonic, although this is kind of different in a couple funny ways to me at least. Let me explain. The face is the same as the previous figure. I really like how this looks. The eyes are really bright and shiny, and the red on them is a little bit dimmer though, interestingly enough. Going up to the stripes in the head, this is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Why they painted over where the light is supposed to go through is baffling to me. I gotta say though, it looks a little better where you can't really see where Shadow's points of light are going to come out of on his head. It's very interesting and really cool actually. But yeah, having this painted is really funny. I wish they just left it as is without the paint. It's just kind of strange to me. And the head can swivel left and right. I'm not going to move it all the way around. It actually has a stopping point over here too. So yeah, it's good, but not great. Shadow has a much better time at hiding the button that provides the light on his head. It's right over here. It looks really nice actually with his tuft of fur. And he has similar articulation to both his bike and normal counterpart. Same kind of stuff we've seen already from the other figures. So yeah, it's good, I guess. And I just really love these hands. They work out out very well and are super nice. I wish more action figures had these hinged hands instead of different hands. I don't know, what do you think? And on the back, while I don't think a Mecha Shadow exists because Shadow would immediately destroy it, this does look pretty nice and kind of hides itself even better than Sonic. So yeah, I think black is the way to go for these kind of things with these figures. But one thing I forgot to mention that Shadow has and Sonic has is this little hole over here. I'm not sure if this is a little pin or a peg, or you put a little pin into it and it presses something. I don't know. And the legs are very similar to the previous Shadow. These are actually better, I think. I might do some swapping here and there. Who knows? The paint is noticeably duller and a little bit cheaper, and once again, I think these are kind of made cash grab, but I do appreciate the work they did for the lights, at least, that we'll go over later on. Light Up Shadow is a very nice figure that looks really cool and actually hides a lot of his light up attributes better than Sonic does. And now to show Light Up Shadow in his full glory. I really love how fast it goes with the pulsing. It's super nicely done, and the sunken eye kind of thing is really scary with this version of Shadow, and how it just pulses and it slows down to kind of a crescendo is the icing on the cake. It's perfect. Light Up Shadow stands at about 5 1/4 inches tall or so. Here's Light Up Shadow next to Light Up Sonic and the first Shadow from Wave 1. They do look nice together, but there is missing paint, I just realized, on this one, so yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I may have to track down a second Shadow just for all these QC issues I've been having with him. Angry Tails looks really adorable, especially when he's angry. It's like he's pouting. It's really cute, honestly. Everything is pretty much the same as the previous figure except for the expression, so yeah, I just love this though. Alternate head sculpts are just a win. I love them a lot. They're great. His eyes are furrowed browed over here, and his mouth is curled up in a little sneer, and his nose is so cute like a little button. How could he be angry? What could he be angry at? I don't get it. He's just cute. Dang it. And the rest of him is the same as the previous tails, the tails that move, the arms that move as well, with little articulations very, very hingy and hard to move. The paint, I think, is actually better on this one than the other one in a way. It's kind of weird. This is the better version of Tails, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I just love the detail, and I'm really impressed by it, and I'm glad they could translate that from film to toy. It's so wonderful on this figure. What would have been a great extra mile is to have a single tail that could do the butt copter thing that Tails usually does in the games, like his flight. That would be phenomenal instead of these two over here. That way you could swap the tails out. It would be just amazing and would have been a nice little addition for this Tails and the other Tails. You could swap them at least. This Tails is a step up from the previous one, and I just love how cute he is, even if he's angry. Angry Tails stands at about 4 1/4 inches tall or so. Here's Angry Tails next to Tails from movie 2 and Tails from movie 3, and they look really nice together. My one weird complaint now is that the feet are different on these. We have a gray-soled shoe and a black-soled shoe. That's really interesting. I'm not sure if I want to swap it or change them out, but that's just weird. They even got it right on this one and got it wrong on this one. I'm not even sure what's going on. Maybe they had different preliminary models for the third movie? I don't know. But I'm just glad to have another Tails in the collection. I can't get enough of this cute little fox. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Knuckles has a great head sculpt that looks super cool. I do think, though, that it's very limited and hindered by the dreads, even though they're great. And getting closer, his eyes look really awesome and purple over here, and his mouth isn't really fully painted all that great. The nose is painted awesomely, though. This is wonderful. The glint looks very nice from my lighting over here, and the fur is so nicely textured all the way around, going down and really nicely for his dreads, and then matted for his forehead. His head can swivel, but not really that well. It's moving the body more than the head, but you get a tiny bit of movement over here, left and right, and up and down. They could have articulated these. I don't know what would have worked with him. I'm just glad to have Knuckles in my collection. And honestly, he's usually facing forward rather than left or right to his enemies. He's usually head-on attacking, which is great. The body sculpt is similar to Sonic and Shadow from Wave 1. I'm just glad to have Knuckles in the collection, though. He's my favorite character of this specific version. I love this so much. The Knuckles of Knuckles look really nice. They're huge and big, and his hands are giant, and his thumb looks really good, as well as the pad, as well as the knuckles. They're so great. From the inward angle, though, this doesn't look that good to me, honestly. They could have fixed it somehow, I'm not sure, but it could have been better maybe hiding it on the inside instead of the outside. I don't know. This isn't that great to me. And coming around the back, his tail looks really nice. It's very big and thick and pokey, and coming out, it looks awesome and interesting, and I'm glad it's not on the other side. And the white crest for Knuckles looks really nice over here, a little faded as well, A little bit of nice articulation for that fur. It looks wonderful. And for the body articulation, you can go left and right and all the way around. Really nice back and really good forward too. You do get up pretty far with the arm and down and then all the way around pretty much. This is a very strange joint with that. You do get a swivel up here, and be careful because this joint is actually kind of going on me. I can see the stress marks on the inside, the white, it's kind of bad. And you do get an elbow that can hinge up this far and then swivel all the way around as well. For his wrist, you also get a swivel over here as well as a hinge working really nicely, and an out and an in for his fist. Really great. I'm glad he has fists and open hands. Yes! Knuckles' legs are kind of boring until you get to the shoes, and honestly the shoes are the best part about Knuckles. Well, one of many things for me at least. The silver looks really great over here, the Lego brick kind of thing, and then we get to the yellow, which is really nice, but the stitching on the shoes is insane. This is beautiful. They didn't have to go this hard, but they did. Look at these stitchings. They're just phenomenal. They're just beautiful, and the cuffs for the boots are green, and the colors are so great. I love Knuckles. And these treads, this is so wonderful. Forget about all the QC problems. This is where it's at. The sculpting is beautiful. And for the legs, you do get out pretty far, at least with Knuckles, and in and then up pretty far and back pretty nicely. It does stick a little bit though, and up this far for the knee. And down over here with a swivel over here, a swivel in the middle. No swivel down here. Sadly, they could have implemented that somehow at least. It would have been great. And then for his shoes, you get down and then up a little bit. It's hindered by this cuff. It could have been smaller, and you get a pivot as well, and no peg holes at the bottom of the feet. That's kind of weird. While I really do appreciate this version of Knuckles, I feel like a few tweaks here and there would have made him perfect. Movie Knuckles stands at about 5.5 inches tall or so. And here's Movie 3 Knuckles next to Movie 2 Knuckles and Movie 3 Robotnik. I do think this one is a winner compared to this one. However, the scaling is awful between these two. Robotnik should be much taller. Therefore, this is a great substitute for scaling with this Robotnik. And here are all three shadows next to each other. The original shadow from Wave 1, the light-up shadow from this 4-pack, and the motorcycle shadow from Walmart. And there probably are more shadow figures on the way, but I gotta say, I think this one's the best, even if it's missing a little bit of paint. This one is second, honestly, for me, and this one is third. Overall, a flash in the pan. Light Up Sonic is a decent figure. He looks pretty good, and the light up function is actually really impressive, but the figure suffers from a lot of quality control issues, and I'm not sure if he's worth it or not. Light Up Shadow is one of the better ones. I really love how the red gives him a lot of menace, and the button is hidden pretty well, and the articulation works out very nicely, as well as the sculpt. The paint is kind of cheap on him, though, so look for a good copy in the stores. Angry Tails is just really adorable and cute. There isn't much to say about that. I like the alternate portrait for his head. It's really fun and funny to use everywhere. And my boy Knuckles is basically perfect. I love how he looks, and they knocked it out of the park with this one. I do think, though, that a couple quality control issues, as well as him being in this kind of box for so long, loosened that arm and messed it up. And I feel like the single release may have a few tweaks that might make this one better, such as the holes in the bottom of the shoes. I'm not sure why he doesn't have them. Every other figure does. So if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic movies, or light-up figures, then you'll love these characters. They're all awesome. But make no mistake, if you're as angry as Tails about these figures, then I suggest you lighten up. So which figure here is your favorite? Light Up Sonic, Light Up Shadow, Angry Tails, or Knuckles? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.